everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today on Bones Collector we're continuing our series where Lori and I are playing our way through our board gaming library. The reason why we're doing this, of course, is to show you up close and personal the mechanics and what the game looks like physically on the table. So we're going to play a couple of games, 2 or 3 games each week, and make a video about it and pass it on to you, and I hope you enjoy them. Hello everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and we just got done playing Clank Catacombs. We finally got our copy. We've been waiting on this for a while. We got it from our local game store, Cool Stuff, here in Maitland, and they finally got it in, and so we went and picked it up. We like Clank a lot, Clank Original. It came out in 2016, and we had that for a game for a while. And we just like the universe of Clank and the dungeon crawly type of atmosphere, and the card, the deck building. We liked everything about it. Just was a little bit not enough happening in the original Clank, we thought. So, but we still liked it. We liked it. If you have that game, hey, it's a fun game. It's for 2 to 4 players, and Clank Catacombs just came out 2022. And as I say, it's a deck builder, dungeon crawling game with end game bonuses, and it has a push your luck element to it where you can be eliminated in the game. So that's something to think about when you're playing this game.
I did get eliminated yesterday.
Yeah, and I just want to talk very briefly about the production of the game. It's not the best box. It's okay though. A little bit disappointed in the production value. I thought, was it Direwolf?
Yeah. Because
this game is pretty popular across the spectrum. There's Clank in Space, and there's I think there's a campaign Clank, isn't there? Something like that.
Clank Legacy, I think.
Yeah, Clank Legacy is...
And it's got a bunch of expansions to regular Clank.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought they might take the ball and run with it a little bit on this particular edition and kind of deluxify it out a little bit, but they did not do that. And the insert in original Clank had a nice insert for everything in the box. This is just your run-of-the-mill cardboard separator thing that a lot of people are going to take out and probably throw away. So I thought they could have done a little better job with that. The price point on the game, I understand, is around $60, and I wouldn't. That is not a $60 production. As far as I'm concerned, this is more in the mid 30, $35, $40 range. Yeah, we did pay $42 or something.
45, I think, something like that.
Yeah. So, and this is a little market board slide over here. It's got a nice draw bag with the color of the green. They changed the color of the dragon to green.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I don't know. I kind of like the black guy a little bit. But I mean,
black is scarier than green.
And the tiles are a little bit thin, but I guess you would want them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So you'd want them to be a little bit thin, but I thought they could have been thicker tiles, and I thought the cardstock should have been linen. I mean, I thought they should have taken advantage of Clank's popularity and kind of tricked out Catacombs a little bit, because we really liked the game, didn't we?
We really liked this game.
Yes. So I mean, it added just enough
that the original didn't.
Oh yeah. It is just...
Putting down the tiles is just...
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It's because you can't plan your travel. It's that simple. In Clank, you've got the whole map to view, so you're in your head, you're planning, oh, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to be some... And you can't do that, because these tiles come out one at a time. When you move from one room and you're going to leave the tile, you put out another tile full of rooms. And that tile may have different... lockpick. And they might have different things on it. Like this one has a ghost, so that's new to the game, isn't it?
You have to add
so these white cubes get added to the Clank section, and when you draw a dragon, those are going to go in the bag, and both players take a damage when one of those comes out of the bag.
And it goes back into Clank; it doesn't go away.
Yeah, so this
stays there.
So those are on the tiles, and then what else we got? We still got the major and minor secrets, and we have
Wayshire.
Wayshire, that's pretty cool.
One. There's 2 on there.
Yeah.
And that's a ghost tile too.
These are Wayshires, and you can take one of your cubes if you go to that room and put it on there. And if you put your color cube on there, you get $1. If you go to this room and put another one of your cubes on there, you get $2, and they accumulate. So they all over the board. As long as you're in a different Wayshire, you're going to add them up, and you get that many dollars. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. And what else is different?
Portals.
Oh, the portals are different?
I don't think the portals were there. Were the portals there before?
I can't remember. Well, there's portals on the tiles, and that would be like...
That one's got 3 on it.
Yeah, this one's got 3 portals on it. So if you hit that portal, you can transfer to another portal anywhere in the dungeon. And that's pretty cool. And then it has these rooms where you put a lockpick on, and you get either a secret tome or you get a major award or
Major secret.
major secret. Excuse me, major secret. Major award's the lamp with the stockings on it. I always laugh about that when they talk about major awards in this game. And you can get these prisoners. I think the prisoners are new.
Yeah.
And they give different rewards. And the cards, some of the card play is new, I think. You have some end game bonus cards and just really a lot of
devices. They
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
I don't think they were in. They might have been in one of the other. But I don't think they were in the original.
Yeah. But this game is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad they changed a few things, and the addition of just instead of having a board that you're going to lay out these tiles is fantastic. And in the rule book, it highlights the things that are different from original Clank. So if you pick this up,
It's got a little box.
yeah,
And all through the rule book, it'll have that little box, and that means that's a new rule from Clank to Catacombs.
Yeah.
So that was nice. It's real easy to learn if you can play Clank.
it has a glossary of your prisoners,
The prisoners,
and your major.
and that's the major and minor secrets,
And minor
and
secrets.
the market items.
Yeah. So that's very helpful when you're playing the game. And I think, of course, you get a market board here where you're going to have, I think the other game had a market board.
It did, but you had to go there. There's market
Yeah.
spaces all over the board in this one.
Yeah,
that
so
you
that's
can
pretty
purchase
neat.
From.
Yeah. And then I thought there could maybe a double layer player board for your Clank, your health
Yeah, that
tracker
would've
over here
been
would have been
kinda
nice.
nice, but-
Things like that. I just wish they had taken the ball and run with it. I would pay a few more bucks. I would pay $60 if the game was produced at a proper level. And for this time of board gaming life in 2022, I thought they dropped the ball a little bit, but it doesn't take away from gameplay. It's wonderful. It's going to be my top 10 for this year for sure.
Yeah.
We really like it. I love it. Just plays differently. We've played it 3 times now,
Yes.
right?
Maybe
and
4.
Maybe
No,
4.
I think 3.
And it plays differently every time
Yes.
you play the game, and I like that because of the way the dungeon unfolds. And the other thing I really want to emphasize in this game is a lot of people are curious about dungeon crawlers. They want to play them, but a lot of them are so stinking complicated with rules, like Dungeon Alliance that I just did a video for. This is a streamlined thing. When you attack, it's just my attack versus that attack, and how many attack points each of us has.
And then you get if you defeat this, you
Yeah.
place a new tile next to your current one. And then you choose teleport to any room on the new tile or take $2.
Yeah.
I mean, simple. Nothing you have to
Yeah.
get a book out and see what it means.
Yeah, there's no line of sight, and someone in front of you has to duck, or
Yeah.
somebody's grabbed. Those kind of minuscule rules really drive us nuts in those games because dungeon crawlers are fun. And another one that I would suggest to you if you're interested in them is Dead Men Tell No Tales. Same thing, you're laying out tiles like this. That's a cooperative
It's
adventure
cooperative.
game about pirates where the ship's on fire and it's a gas.
And it's not really a dungeon crawl. You're
Yeah.
on a ship, but
You're
you're
on a
still
ship.
placing tiles
But it
just like
feels
this.
like it because of that.
Yeah.
And I think if you are interested in those types of games, this would be wonderful for you, and so would Dead Men Tell No Tales. But we loved Clank, and as I say, it's going to be in our top 10 for sure for 2022.
I missed Clank. I liked having Clank, but we weren't playing it.
Yeah.
We'll play this.
Yeah, we'll play this. Yeah, as soon as we got done playing it the first time, we jumped right back into it, and then when we got up this morning, we went ahead and played it again. It's just one of those games that you'll say, yeah, let's play it again, because the way the cards come out and the ones that you were able to purchase and the timing of that, and you're building your deck, it just changes every game so that you can't do the same things you know, if you don't have, if there's certain cards that you can't get, you're going to have to change your game plan.
There's a lot of cards here. We didn't go through half the deck each game, I don't think.
Yeah. So, but oh man, I love it. It's definitely a keeper for us.
Well, the time says 45 to 90, and that it's going to vary a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get an artifact and run right out,
Which I wouldn't advise, because you'll get beat that way.
or you can get an artifact and stay in for a little longer and try to gather some more things. So your time really that's really going to be different each time too, how long it takes.
Yeah, because once you get up on these safety tiles, you can't die and lose all your points. If you die in the
you fill up
depths,
this board.
your health kills you, and you're in the depths, you just lose the game.
You have 0 points. You just lose.
You're done.
Yeah.
So you have to. That's what I'm talking about. Push your luck. When you're wandering around down here and you see other players, you're watching what they're doing. I mean, are they going to get out? And if they go to get out of the dungeon, you want to make sure you're on these safety tiles, because then you get all your points. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to push your luck. When you're getting close to the end there, or you're seeing somebody heading out. However, if somebody goes out, and Lori beat me doing this. I got out first. I had a couple of artifacts. I had a backpack and I had a couple of tomes and stuff, and I left. But on her way out, she gets to continually play. So the other players get to continually take turns as long as they're pushing their luck on their health. And she was able to get a bunch of points while I'm sitting there doing nothing. And she got out in the nick of time and actually beat me in the game when I was the first one out. And I did pretty good, but because you must have taken 5 extra turns.
Well, but the thing is, when I'm taking all those extra turns, when it's your turn, you're drawing 6 cubes out of that bag.
Yeah.
So it's still...
You're pushing your luck.
It could have killed me easily.
But I think she took somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 or 5 extra turns, was able to stop in some of these places and get like a secret tome or a major secret. What is it called?
Major secret.
Major secret. I want to call it major award. The major secret, and she got various things and was able to accumulate enough points to beat me, even though I got out first. So I wouldn't suggest.
But I got
getting out
lucky
here.
because you're drawing 6 cubes out of that bag. I could have lost easy enough.
So if you're down here and you're someone's trying to get out, it doesn't always mean they're going to win. And because again, once they're out, they don't have to deal with the dragon and Clank anymore. But the other players that are down here can take extra turns, but they are pushing their luck because it may kill you. You're just going to have to kind of calculate in your mind how many health spaces you have left over,
Yep.
how many Clank tokens you have left in front of you, and what's in the bag. If there's ghosts out, you have to add that into the equation, and there's a lot to think about. Enough that makes this game the perfect complexity to have a level of fun that we like in board gaming. We're not complex board gamers. I'm not going to play. We just, it's our, and I'm sure it's our age, and that's fine. If if you hopefully you understand that.
We've played the complex games,
Yeah,
but
we've played them all, and we're just sitting at 3 and pounding away at 3 for 3 hours. This isn't having fun for us. Other hobbyists love that stuff. Yeah, can't sit that long.
our joints will lock.
But if you're interested in a dungeon crawler, and hopefully most of you have played Clank, and if you haven't, it's a lot of fun in any form. We didn't care for Clank in Space, and we didn't play the campaign one.
We've never played the campaign. We played Mummy's Curse. That was good.
Yeah.
And we played another
That's an
expansion.
expansion, yeah.
I forget what that one was. Clank in Space, I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't enough different from Clank for me to care.
Well, I don't want to be out in space. She knows.
He hates space.
I don't like space games. We have a few that are wonderful, but as a theme, I like the dungeon. Let's go in the dungeon and fight some.
So unless it was a
goblins.
real blow you away,
Yeah.
that space game was never going to make it.
Yeah.
But this, yeah.
But I love the art on the cards because it's mild. Would you describe it as that?
Yeah.
I mean, like even the monsters that you fight.
Well, there's monsters. A bunch of monsters.
There's nothing scary about them. Like this is the Marble Guardian. This looks like a stone man.
Yeah. Here you go with it. Got the skeleton priest.
I mean, the art is good, but it's
This
just
is
not
crystal
gross, and it
cobalt.
has that level of cartoonish dungeon crawling that is just something that we're attracted to, I guess is the way to say it. We don't mind games getting a little bit complex because, believe it or not, there's enough in here to think about to keep your mind busy. Because you're trying to calculate your movement, your money, and your battle that's on your cards, plus the card text. So there's quite a bit to think about. And a few times, if you're not careful, you'll miss some things and not take advantage of all the benefits that your cards give you. So you have to be a little bit careful of that.
When you've also got, if you want to, there's flavor text on the bottom of all these cards.
Yeah.
It's very small, but you don't have to read it. But this one is, when the warden's around, he's more of a key underling. Oh, because he's got the key master.
Yeah. But there's just a lot of good stuff on there.
The spell's name in ancient means chant of being less here. There's just, if you want to read text, there's plenty of flavor text.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just changed the game enormously from original Clank to this version, with the fact that you're putting out the board, building the board or the dungeon, however you want to think about it, as you go along. It just changes things because you can't make that ultimate plan of escape. Because, I mean, I got caught in a vicious circle and a couple of times I'm like, how in the world am I going to get out of there? Well, I'm going to what I did was eventually tried to head off a tile and draw one of these tiles. I eventually drew a portal. I was able to go back over to a different spot in the board, and I could get out of the. Yeah, I can get out of there.
Well, and I got lucky. There's a token that says you can ignore the arrows because there's arrows on this board, and you have to move in the direction of the arrow.
Yeah.
But I had a minor secret that let me ignore the arrows.
Yeah.
Didn't help enough because you still beat me, but at least it let me get out.
Hey, I want to tell you, there's a lot of games that came out in 2022. I mean, I don't know how many, a lot. And Clank is one of the best as far as we're concerned, because we like a certain level of board gaming, I guess light to medium complexity, that are fun to play, and you can do it in an hour. And you can get this game out, set it up, and play it in an hour, and that's wonderful. And have a good time and think while you're playing it. We like that. And I wanted to tell you guys about it, and I was glad to do that. I'm glad we picked this game up. This game is really good, and it would be one that I bet you people would buy, even if they owned it, if they did make a deluxeified Clank version, because it's a condensed package. You know, the campaign games that are huge and there's games out there that take 80 hours or 80 days or 80 years to play, and we're just not interested in that.
There is what is this called? Adventure Party expansion you can buy that allows you to play this for 6 players.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Which I would never do.
No.
I don't play 6 players doing anything. I don't care what it is. Hey, yeah, that is Clank Catacombs by Dire Wolf. Hey, if you can pick this up for a reasonable price.
And designed by Paul Denon.
Paul Denon. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that.
Didn't mention Paul Denon.
And I love Paul Denon because he did Dune Imperium, which we really like. I love Dune Imperium, and part of the reason why I like that game so much is because it's in the Dune universe.
Yes.
And that was the best movie I saw this year. By the way, I loved that movie. And yeah, so that's Clank Catacombs, 2 to 4 players, 45 to 90 minutes, 13 and up. I mean, all of it. There's not enough superlatives to throw out there to describe this game. It's excellent. Excellent board game experience. I love it. Yeah, Clank Catacombs. Right. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Bones Collector, and Laura and I just got done playing Orichalcum. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Orichalcum. Orichalcum is a game that came out in 2022, so this year. It's designed by Bruno Cathala and Johannes Gruppi. Now, of course, I know Bruno Cathala. I don't know who Johannes Gruppi is. The art is done by Paul Maffeon, and I love the art in this game, so I always mention the artist. Now, this is an action selection, dice rolling, racing game with some tile placement. And I'm telling you what, let's see, this production of this game, we just picked this game up. A nice box, not the thickest, but good. It's a good box. Let me see what else I got here. So, yeah, you get 4 player boards, 2 to 4 players. Did I mention that? I did not. 2 to 4 players, no solo variant. And these player boards are quite large, but they're thick, and they're 2-sided. So that's pretty cool. And then I just wanted to show you in the bottom of the box here is a nice picture. That's going above and beyond, so that's pretty cool. And in case you don't know, I mean, everybody knows what Orichalcum is. It's a precious metal. Yeah, Atlanteans in Atlantis. It's a precious metal that you're going to use for currency in this game. I don't think they could have named it a more difficult name to pronounce. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. What else? Oh, you got these wooden hoplites. Those are people, Atlanteans, I suppose. Then you've got the Orichalcum itself, which is like little gold nuggets. You have a board here. This is the action selection board. This is the construction board, and I'm looking in the rule book while I'm telling you this because we've only played this game one time. I don't review games, generally speaking, that I've only played once, but I've seen enough of this game to do it. So, yeah, this is the construction board. Then you got your player board. You have 4 of these Titan tiles. This is an initiative tile, and that goes. The first player is going to have that. You get this big metal. I don't know. You know, this coin that looks like the coins that you're going to use in the game, and that's pretty cool. You get 4 sculpted, nice quality dice. These tiles, the terrain tiles that you're going to use on your board are nice. These monsters are thick cardboard standees, very, very nice. And what else? Oh yeah, the cards are quite large, the action selection cards, and I'll tell you how that works in a minute. You have a couple of draw bags. One of them is going to have the monsters in it, and the other one's going to have the buildings that are going to go on this construction board. The monsters are in that draw bag, and they have their standee stands on them, and it wasn't even a problem, was it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever if you were worried about that. And I guess that's it for production note. The rule book is very clear. It'll teach you how to play it. It's not a lot of rules. And then you have this player's turn summary sheet that comes very helpful when you're playing the game. And it has a lot of information on it, like your monsters, your creatures. They're called creatures. The Hellhound, the Minotaur, the Gorgon, the Cyclops, the Hydra. And then it teaches you, or tells you what all the icons mean. And then the buildings themselves. The buildings themselves, once you take one and put it on a terrain tile, and I'll show you how that works in a second, that gives you a special benefit of some sort. So a nice summary sheet that comes with the game. Okay, this game, I said it was a racing game, and the winning condition is the first player to get 5 points. That's right, 5 points. Now there are racing games where, I think Colony was one, when you got to 20 you won the game, and by Bezier Games. And I thought of another one. What was it? We had another game. There are games out there, but not many, that use that mechanism. So this is pretty cool. And you got these big, I forgot to point out, these big cardboard coins. Those are the ones that you get 5 of those, you win the game. You have these temple tiles, big thick cardboard. The production of this game is outstanding because it was only $39.99. I'm a senior citizen. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm always looking for a deal. This is a heck of a game for 40 bucks. And it's a cool stuff here in Maitland. I mean, I don't have nothing to do with cool stuff. That's just where I go to get my board games once in a while. And that's where I went to get this one. And I can't believe you can get this much stuff. Let's see, Ascension Tactics was a great deal. I think $42, $43 for that box. A heck of a game. And this is no exception. This is absolutely a great publishing job by Pandasaurus Games, and it's Pandasaurus Games, Catch Up Games, and Black Rock Games. So I don't know who's responsible for the publishing of this game, but it's outstanding, the publishing job. But yeah, first one to 5 points wins. I'm going to tell you, this game is absolutely fantastic. It's going to be way up there in my top 10 of 2022. I had not even heard of this till a couple of days ago. I was just cruising YouTube and happened to catch someone talking about this game. And the thing that got me going, and it's like I tell you guys, if you like games by a designer, seek out their other titles. Well, when I heard this was by Bruno Cathala, all I could think about was how much I love Five Tribes, how much I love Yamatai, how much I love King Domino, how much I love Ishtar. I mean, this guy's a great board game designer, and we have those titles other than Five Tribes. We let that one go, but it's still a great game. And he's a great board game designer, and I just really enjoy the complexity level of the games he designs. They're just not over the top complex, and we like that. I mean, we like games that aren't all that difficult. This game is absolutely, I was astounded that more people aren't talking about this game. And again, it's going to be, I'm not going to lie to you, right now I've got it number 3 in my 2022. Again, for the price point, it's just an outstanding game. Here's how it works. It's action selection. You have this action selection board right here where in a 2-player game, and that's what we just got done playing, was 2 players, and you have these action selection cards. There's a deck of them that come with the game, and each one of them has an action that you can take during your turn and a terrain tile shape. There's 1s, 2s, and 3s, okay? And then one action on the card. Now, on your turn, you are simply going to look at those cards and decide which one you want to take. And you can see there's monsters on some of these, because when that terrain tile comes out, when you have a volcano that comes out on one of these tiles, you have to put a monster on it, so that when you select monster, I call them monsters, they're creatures.
We were calling
yeah, the
them
game calls them creatures. So you're going to take that card and anything that's on that card, the terrain tile and any creatures. So that's how your turn's going to work. Then you're going to place that terrain tile on your board, and you're going to take the action that was on that action selection card that you took. And then, once you finish that, you have the opportunity to take an additional action, and it's on your player. Let me unfold one here. On your player board, I don't know if you can see them here, probably not. Okay. Hold higher.
There you go.
On the side of your player board, you have 3 squares, and each one holds different things. Your hoplites go here. I forget they call them storehouses maybe. And your orichalcum goes here, and your defeated creatures go here. And then once you have those in your storehouse, you can pay, and it tells you the cost, and take an additional action one time during your turn. So you're going to take the action off the card, you're going to place your terrain tile, and then you can, if you have the ability, to pay one of these currencies to take an additional action. And as the game goes by and keeps, the longer you play, you're going to kind of build a little bit of an engine. Let's look at the summary sheet here. Select an action card, that's mandatory. You take anything that's on the card. You place your terrain tile, that's mandatory. So you have to be able to do that. And towards the end of the game, we found out there's not a lot of terrain spaces available on this board. So you towards the end of the game, you may, like I wanted this action card, I couldn't take it because I had no place to put a 3 terrain tile. I just ran out of room, so I couldn't take that. So it kind of handcuffed me a little bit at the end of the game. Then number 3, resolve the action card. And you don't have to do, I mean, if you can't do it, then you don't have to do it. Maybe you just wanted the tile. So that's an optional thing. And then, then you can perform an additional action off your board, like I talked about, off your player board, as long as you have the hoplites, the orichalcum, or the monsters, the creatures to pay to take that extra action. And then at the end of the round, you refill everything. You refill the construction board, the action cards, and I'll explain. It works a little bit different in a 2-player game. So you refill those boards, and then you decide who has the most hoplites, and whoever has the most is first player. But then the other player gets a free hoplite. So that's going to go back and forth between players, and whoever doesn't get first player gets a free hoplite. So that's the way that works. Now, what some of the things that you're going to do, we'll go over them in a little more detail here, is when you're placing your terrain tile, there's so many things to think about when you're doing that. Because if you group like terrains together, you can take one of these Titan tiles that you see. Lori and I both got one. And that Titan tile gives you a one-time benefit when you choose to use it, and it's a point. If you only need 5 points to win the game, a point's a big deal. So you take that Titan. If you've managed to put 3 of the same terrain types together, you can take a Titan. 4 different terrain types together, and you can place a temple. But let's concentrate on the Titans right now. And then that Titan gives you a special benefit, and once you use that benefit, you just simply flip it over. You can't use it but just one time, and then there's still a point at the end of the game. However, another player can put 3 of those together and steal that from you, and they take that point. So you can take that from each other. And we did that during the game. It's not mean, it's just like, it's the way it is.
You took it and I took it right back.
She took it. I took it from her and she took it right back from me. I was, whatever. I didn't even have it long enough to miss it. But yeah, so once you do, so when you're placing those terrain tiles, you have to think about that. And then also, when in the construct, when you have to take the construct action, if you have 4 different terrain types, you can place one of these temples during your construct for your action. You can place one of these temples. And the volcanoes on your board are wild. So I had 3 volcanoes and one of those ocean tiles. I was able to place a temple on those because of the wild volcanoes. Now, the volcanoes, when they came onto my board, had monsters on them, so I had to defeat those monsters. And that's a winning condition also. You have to have 5 points and no monsters on your board. But every time you take one of those monsters, but you know, I mean, you're trying to balance. It's a balancing act because you take those monsters. I keep calling them monsters. You take those creatures and they go on your board, but they give you a reward when you defeat them. Like this one gives you 2 Orichalcum when you defeat that creature, and then it goes down in the storehouse for creatures and becomes a currency. So you can buy an extra action with those as you defeat them. So you're thinking about so much when you're just trying to take one of these action cards and how to place your terrain tiles on your board. There's a lot to think about. Then also, if you see, you know, one of the things you can do is construct a building off this board, and you can see there's different terrain types featured with these 4 building tiles that appear on there at one time. That should have a hoplite on it.
Yeah, it should.
So when you're doing your construct action, you can do 3 different things. You can place a temple if you have 4 terrain types, 4 different terrain types on your board. You can buy one of these 1-point coins for 5 Orichalcum, or you can take one of these building tiles and place them on the terrain type specified on the construction board. Now what's cool about those buildings is they give you a special benefit. Like I got 2 of the tiles I took off of there allowed me to defeat a monster with a 3 and a 1 and a skull. So the skull is anybody rolling and battling a monster, if it has a number value on the monster, this one is 8, I would have to roll 8 or higher in order to defeat this creature. Well, the way you do that is you decide how many hoplites you're going to send into battle to help you out. If you're going to battle this monster, let's say he was, you know, sitting on, right there, there's a volcano. He was sitting there. You could say, oh, I'm going to send 2 hoplites into battle, and which for each hoplite you put into battle, you get an extra die. There's only 4 dice in the game, so you can only ever roll 4. And so once you have your hoplites in battle, then you get 1 dice for free, and then you add in any hoplites for 1 die, so you'll get 3 die to do battle against Medusa. It looks like Medusa. Yeah, it's a cool looking creature. And then when you roll these dice, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a tie wins. So you would win that. Deposit the hoplites into the supply, and that monster goes into your storehouse for currency. And you get the benefit reward on there of 2 Orichalcum. I'm getting pretty good at saying that word. Now, if you happen to roll these dice and there's a skull on every one of these dice, 1 skull. If you roll a skull, automatic victory. That's pretty cool. I really like that. And I did it once or twice during the game. But my point is that these 2 tokens, not only, you know, there's a skull on each one of these dice, so if you roll that skull, it's an automatic victory, but it turned my 3s into a skull and my 1s into a skull. So that made battling these creatures a lot easier for me. And so it kind of pushes you in that direction. So I want to get those creatures because I have an ability to beat them pretty quickly. But these, you know, I mean, there was a point in the game where no creatures were coming out, no volcano tiles, and so there's no creatures. I'm like, oh my gosh, so I got to do something else. You can't, you know, stand around and wait because, you know, your opponent's busy weaving their tapestry together to get their points, their 5 points as fast as they can go. So you have to go in another direction. Then there was the building tiles. Some more of them have, you know, there's mines that produce 1 Orichalcum. There are training centers that produce hoplites. Then I showed you the monster buildings, and then I had another building that allowed me to have 2 titans. You can generally have just 1 titan on your board, like you see here. We each have 1. I had a tile that would allow me to have 2. I never did. Oh yeah, I did take yours, which gave me 2, and then she took it right back. So, but yeah, so you can only generally have 1. And then this one allowed me to play 1 less Orichalcum to take an additional action. It normally costs you 2. It only costs me 1 to do that. And what else? Some of these. The hospital. If you have that hospital token, it will allow you to keep 1 of your hoplites after the battle. What else did we have? Let's see some of these. Oh, the training camp allows you to produce hoplites. The arch, whenever they capture a creature, the arch's owner earns one Orichalcum nugget in addition to the creature's loot. So that's pretty nice if you got that arch. So you get an extra nugget. A protection crystal. The protection crystal owner is allowed to construct buildings or temples adjacent to creatures. I forgot to cover, when you have a creature on your board, and I'm going to uncover some of this stuff. We just got done playing. I wanted to do this. I'm tired. I'm ready to eat. But when you have a creature on your board, you can't build anything adjacent to that, to the tiles that are adjacent to that creature. You can't put one of these building construction tiles next to that creature. You have to defeat the creature first in order to use that. So that's one of the things also. And then even when you have to consider those creatures that are on the volcanoes on your board when you're placing temples too. They interfere with things. They have an adjacency rule that interferes with things. So you want to defeat those and get them off your board. But anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of these buildings that give you special benefits. So you're going to build a little bit of an engine and have those special buildings that are going to help you when you're taking those action cards and that specific action. So you can generate hoplites, you can generate orichalcum, you can have a engine going where you're going to be able to defeat creatures with a little bit more ease. So I think I've covered just about everything. You know, at the end of the round, in a two-player game, we're going to have the active player, whoever that happens to be, is going to choose one of the leftover action cards and remove it. Put it in the discard pile, put the tile, whichever tile it is, on the bottom of whatever pile it belongs in, and then refill the 5 cards. And then you're going to refill this construction board with building tiles and do your initiative measuring. Whoever's got the most hoplites gets first player, the other player gets 1 hoplite, and I think that's about it. But that should give you a general idea about how Orichalcum is played. It is fantastic. This is an outstanding game. It's one of his best. I mean, for sure. There's a couple little things you might want to be aware of, though. It takes up some table space. These player mats are quite large, but they're gorgeous. The art on them and just the map feel of it is very cool. And I like the large picture of the character on it. And these chunky coins that you're going to put up in here. Once you get 5 of those, can they see my coins?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see these 5 coins, and I got a point for that Titan, and it's just really cool. And when you place a temple, I managed to place 2 temples. You just turn the coin over to the temple side, just to remind you that you built a temple to get that coin. But yeah, just a fun game. They come with a couple of draw bags. I mean, I can't believe what you get for $39. I mean, that's a great deal. 40 bucks. And the game is outstanding. Again, it's going to be in my top 10. I think right now I've got it number 3 for the year, because this is a perfect game for us, isn't it? I mean, it's like it took a little while to play. I don't know if I would play it never at 4. It would take a while.
Well, it took us about 90 minutes.
Yeah, but it's the first time we played it. We were learning. Yeah, it's a teach and a play, and it took us 90 minutes. I think knowing this game now, we could do it in an hour.
Yeah.
And so it's on a little bit longer side, I guess. I mean, if for us, an hour, a little bit more.
But it doesn't feel like it's long.
No.
I mean, it feels like it's going really fast.
It is so good, you guys. This game is so awesome. I just wanted to tell everybody about it because I'm so excited about it. I love Bruno Cathal's game, and he's hit a home run with this one. This game is outstanding, and there's just, it's not an overwhelming, complex game. So I'm not sure what types of games you like to play, but if you like Yamatai, if you like 5 Tribes, if you like Ishtar, if you like even King Domino. I mean, King Domino is really light compared to this. But Bruno Cathal knows how to design good board games. And, Abyss. I think this is about the level of Abyss when it comes to complexity. I think Yamatai is a little easier in this. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe Yamatai is about the same also.
It's got a lot going on, too.
Yeah. But yeah, Abyss, another one by this guy, and I just love Abyss. I just love Yamatai. I just love Ishtar, and now I'm in love with Orichalcum. He's done it again. Again, it eats a little bit of table. You got these boards, and
Yeah, with 4 players, the table would be full,
table,
completely full.
yes, it would. And I don't know if I mean, we enjoyed it too. Absolutely enjoyed it. And I would play it. I mean, we're gonna play it. I'm gonna play this game 3 more times. My grandkids are coming, so I got to take it off the table,
Yeah.
and they're gonna stay overnight. And so it's I'm not gonna get to play, because we have a life. But yeah, please give a thumbs up to the video. If you get a chance to take a look at this game being played on YouTube, check it out because you're gonna like it. If you like those types of games, I've named his other games. If you like any of those games, you're gonna love this. It's just that middle of the road complexity. Runestones, Witchstone, that level of complexity. We don't play complex games. That's just not our fun level. We like to have this type of game that has a lot of tough choices to make, a lot of interesting choices, and the cool mechanic of just scoring 5 points to win the game. I think that's outstanding. Oh, you guys, you've just got to check this game out.
Well, and it was tight too.
Yeah.
Because you scored.
Oh, yeah.
If he hadn't scored his last point
Yeah.
and won, I was going to score 2 points on my next turn.
It was so close.
And I'd have won, so it was close.
And I was thinking, oh, I have enough to win if I just take the right action card. And I took the wrong one, and Lori says, no, don't take that one.
He took the one I needed. I would have won, but he won first, and
Yeah.
that you don't. There's no playing. Once you're done, you're done. There is no
Once you
continue on.
There's no bonus points, nothing. Whoever places that big quarter first, that 5th big quarter, wins the game. And so I won the game, and she was going to win it on her turn because she would have the ability to get 2 points. She was going to take a Titan and buy a coin, and
Yeah.
she would have won the game.
And I had enough to do
And I think
both,
this
so.
game is tightly designed. I mean, whoever wins this game, you're going to win by 1
Yeah, I
coin.
told him if you don't go out, I am. So
Yeah, it's going to be that close every time. So you're racking your brain. There was a couple of times I just I don't know what card to take because I want to take that action, but I need this terrain tile in order to do a construct. But I want which additional action do I want to take? And I mean, you're just going all.
well, a couple of times we had to take cards that you couldn't do the action.
Yeah.
Because you had to have that piece of terrain.
Oh my gosh, this game is just delicious. It's beautiful to look at. What a deal. Again, you get this big chunky coin. Give me a break, dude. When's the last time you saw that in a board game? For $39.99. Like never? I can't think of an instance. This game is nice publishing job. I was so disappointed in Clank Catacombs, as I was in Dune Imperium. For the money that you paid for those games, I thought you should have gotten more. And I said so in the video. I'm not going to pull punches. Those games are good, and I love them, and I love playing them. But they certainly, for this day and age, didn't give you much for your money in those 2 instances. And it was Dire Wolf, I think, and they did both games. Chunky Dice, just a wonderful publishing job. And I wanted to tell you guys about it, and I tell you what, there's a lot smarter people on YouTube talking about board games than me and Lori. But I don't know. I'm 67 years old. I just had a birthday a couple weeks ago, and life has taught me to be humble. I just want to share my passion for the board games that we play that are good, so that you guys can feel comfortable about going out and getting this game. It is fantastic. It's just a wonderful experience. I can't believe it feels so fresh and original. It feels so fresh and original. I just really, really like it. I want to tell you about it. And hey, make sure you like our video, please. It helps us out. Again, we're not getting paid for any of this. And there goes Lori's phone. But we want to tell you about this game. Like and subscribe. We love every one of you. And hey, make sure to keep on board gaming. You know why? It's the best doggone hobby on this planet. Have a good night. Bye-bye.